Hey guys, this is Tashina from Logical Harmony, and today I'm going to be doing a foundation demo and review of the Hourglass Immaculate foundation. This is a liquid powder foundation, so a very unique formula, and I've seen a lot of people use this and it looks really nice, so I couldn't wait to try it. So in the video, I'm going to show you how I apply it and give you my thoughts on it as it wears throughout the day. So I am going to be using the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. This is an oil-free primer. I really like this one. It just feels so silky and so smooth. I feel like it's not drying, it's not super hydrating, but it's just a good middle of the road primer that I think is going to work with all skin types. And I've used it with several foundations and it's worked well with all of them. I've never paired it with the Hourglass foundation before, so today will be my first time doing so. I'm going to start by just applying one pump to my hand, and then I'm going to use the MOTD Beauty and the Base Brush to apply this to my face. So one thing to be aware of with this primer is it is a mineral primer, so sometimes it could have flashback or different things in it. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be using it about the environment that you're going to be in. Maybe test it with some flash photos first. I personally haven't had that issue, but I know others have. So I just think that's always something to be aware of, but that's something you usually test with any foundation anyway. Actually, now that it's applied, I feel like it's making my skin look a lot paler than it did before. Except for around my eyes. Just made my dark circles more accentuated. Now I'm going to go in with the Immaculate Liquid Powder Foundation. This is mattifying, it's oil-free. Again, it's meant for oily skin types. I don't have oily skin, but I've seen people with combination skin or with dry skin use this as well, and it looks really nice. So I'm going to start with just one pump. I'm going to use my Beauty Blender first. I'm gonna dot that on this side of my face. That might actually balance out the primer a little better. Okay, so I'm gonna use the Beauty Blender on this side of my face. I dotted it on and I'm just going to work it into my skin. I've never used this foundation before or a liquid powder foundation before, so this will be an interesting experiment. This is obviously cruelty-free, it's also vegan, it's paraben-free. And now I'm going to apply one pump to the side of my face using the MOTD Beauty and the Base Brush. And I'm going to use a clean one, so it's not the one that I used for primer. I did get the shade Golden, which I'm not sure if it's an exact match or not. I ordered it online. I haven't even swatched this yet. So we're gonna find out together, so forgive me ahead of time if it doesn't perfectly match my neck. Okay, so it's on this side of my skin, one pump with a Beauty Blender, and this side is one pump blended out with a brush. It has a little more coverage on the brush side. I feel like on both sides you can still see my skin through it, which I like. It has coverage, but it's not too much. It is actually a little patchy up here on my forehead on this side. Let me blend that. And I do have some dry skin on my nose because I've had kind of like a runny nose lately, and I feel like the foundation clung to it, but that's pretty normal to be expected. I feel like it looks better on the brush side, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more to even out the coverage and apply that with a brush. So I think it looks pretty even. I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but I do feel like it's making my pores look good. It pretty much looks poreless, but I also feel like at the same time it's accentuating some texture that I do have right here. It looks very smooth, but yet not. So it's like you can't see my pores, but there's more texture. I don't know of a better way to explain it other than it's kind of clinging to any dry spots that I do have. I don't know yet if I'm gonna set this with powder or not. It already feels pretty dry. Again, because it is a liquid to powder, you don't necessarily need to set it. And I think because I have combo dry skin, I'm not going to set this today. If you have oily skin, you might wanna set it. I'm not totally sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply my concealer though. And I'm going to be using the Pacifica Transcendent Concealer in Light. So I feel like the concealer is playing really well with the foundation so far. It blended really evenly. You can't see really where one ends and one begins. So overall, I think it looks good. My skin looks very even. You don't see my pores at all. I feel like it looks really smooth, but yet, like I said, it's kind of sticking to the dry spots a little bit. I wanna keep an eye on that throughout the day and see if that gets better or worse, or stays the same. I'm not setting this with a powder, I'm just letting it set on its own. I'm also not going to use a setting spray because I really want to see how the foundation wears over time. So that's something maybe if I were doing this differently, I might use like an argan oil setting spray, something to add a little bit more moisture back in. I'm going to see how well this wears. So I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup in a different video, and then I will be back for a check-in. You already saw me apply my foundation, my primer, my foundation, and concealer, and I went ahead and did the rest of my face. This will be in a different video. I don't know if it'll be up before or after this, but it's with the 100% Pure Mermaid palette, so keep an eye out for that. And I just wanted to hop back and give you guys my thoughts on the formula after I've applied other products, and now that it's been on my face for a while. It's only been about like half an hour, so not too long, but I did want to do a check-in. I feel like it actually looks better than it did. It is still showing a little bit of texture. It's kind of settling in right here on me, on my like smile lines, which is pretty normal for me. I do think it looks really nice, especially from farther away. It looks very, very flawless. My skin looks really even. My skin looks really glowy. Up close, again, you can't see my pores. The concealer is creasing a little bit with the foundation. I thought that it would play really nicely together, but now I'm not so sure, probably just because of the different formulas. And when I did do my full face makeup, I did set my under eye concealer a little bit because I was worried about creasing, but it's very, very minimal. I think it looks really good. It paired well with the other products that I used on my face, and so far I think it looks really nice. The color hasn't changed, but we'll see how that goes. I'm a little nervous about oxidation because it's not totally perfect match. It is slightly darker than I need already, but they do have a pretty decent shade range. So I will check back in with you guys later on today and let you know how things are going. It has been like 5 or 6 hours since my last one. I've gone out, done a bunch of stuff, had dinner, all those sorts of things. It's looking a little bit dry. I think on camera it still looks really good. It's kind of the same as it was. Like my pores aren't showing, but it's definitely clinging more and more to my dry spots and really accentuating them more. I think for this foundation in the future, I might mix it with some of the Cover FX infusion drops that can really help my skin with drying foundations. I think if you had oily skin, which is what this foundation is meant for, this would probably wear really well. But for me, it just is a little bit drying. It's accentuating dryness I have right here on my cheeks and around my nose, which I'm just not really into, and a little bit on my forehead too. It's not breaking down at all though. The color itself isn't patchy. The foundation has stayed very evenly. And it is still a really nice natural looking finish, but it does still have coverage. So I think this is a good one. I would just probably try another way to wear it. If you've used this foundation before, leave your comments down below and let me know what your thoughts are. If you want to see more foundation videos, leave this video a thumbs up, and I will see you later.